You don't hate people. You hate how invisible you feel around them. You can sit in a room full of people, talk to them, laugh with them, and still feel like you don't really exist in their world. Like you're there, but not noticed, not chosen, not remembered. And that feeling stays with you. You start thinking, why do people ignore me? Am I not interesting enough? Did I do something wrong? And slowly it turns into something deeper. I'm not important. But here's the truth most people don't realize. This feeling is not always created by others. It's created by how your mind interprets their behavior, because your brain is constantly scanning for signals. Who is paying attention? Who is responding? Who is choosing you? And when it doesn't find clear answers, it fills the gap with assumptions. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe you don't matter. Maybe you're just forgettable. And those assumptions start feeling real, even when they're not. That's how the pattern begins. A small moment turns into a big meaning. Someone replies late. You feel ignored. Someone doesn't notice you. You feel invisible. Someone talks more to someone else. You feel replaced, not because it's true, but because your mind is trained to look for absence, to notice what's missing, not what's present. And this doesn't come from nowhere. It usually starts much earlier, when your brain learned that attention equals value, when being noticed felt like being accepted, and being ignored felt like rejection. So now, your mind keeps chasing attention, not because you want it, but because you need it to feel okay. And when you don't get it, you don't feel neutral. You feel less important, less interesting, less enough. That's why it hurts more than it should, because it's not just about that moment. It's about what that moment represents to you. And the more you focus on it, the more patterns you start seeing, even when they don't exist. You start comparing. Why do they get attention and not me? Why am I always the one left out? And now, it's no longer about one situation. It becomes your identity. I'm the one people ignore. And once your mind accepts that, it starts proving it. It filters reality. It highlights every moment that supports that belief and ignores everything that doesn't. So even when someone notices you, you brush it off. But when someone doesn't, you hold on to it. That's how the loop survives. Not because it's true, but because it feels true. But here's the part that changes everything. People are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Not because you don't matter, but because they are busy thinking about themselves, their own problems, their own insecurities, their own thoughts, just like you are. So when someone doesn't respond, doesn't notice, doesn't engage, most of the time, it has nothing to do with you. But your mind doesn't like that explanation because it wants certainty. It wants meaning. It wants to understand why. So it creates a reason, even if that reason hurts you, because a painful answer feels better than no answer. At least it's something. At least it's clear, even if it's wrong. And that's why this feeling keeps repeating, not because people are ignoring you, but because your mind is constantly trying to explain things that don't need explanation. So what do? You don't try to force attention. You don't try to become louder. You don't try to prove your worth, because that will only make it worse. Instead, you change what you look for. You stop measuring your value based on how much attention you get. You stop assuming that silence means rejection. You stop turning small moments into big conclusions. And slowly, you start seeing things differently. You notice when people do care. You notice when you are included. You notice reality, not just your thoughts, and the feeling of being invisible starts fading. Not because people changed, but because you stopped misreading them. And for the first time, you don't feel like you have to fight for attention anymore. You just exist. And that's enough.